All right, folks, buckle up because today we are diving into the story of a penny that's worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. Imagine digging through your couch cushions, finding a random penny, and then realizing it's worth $2.8 million. That's right. Today we're talking about the 2002 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, the coin that could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your house, let's break down what makes this coin so special. Because let's be real, we all have that jar of pennies sitting around collecting dust. Well, what if I told you one of those little copper coins could be your ticket to early retirement? Stick around, and I'll tell you exactly what to look for. Let me take you back a few years. I was at a garage sale, sifting through an old coffee can full of coins. You know the kind, sticky, filled with pocket lint, and probably housing at least one mystery gumball. I pick up a penny, and something looks off. No mint mark. I think, that's interesting. But instead of tossing it back in, I slip it into my pocket. Later, I did some research, and my heart almost jumped out of my chest. Now, mine wasn't the $2.8 million one, but it was still worth a pretty penny, pun totally intended. So, what exactly makes this 2002 no mint mark penny so valuable? First off, let's talk about mint marks. Normally, U.S. coins are stamped with a letter indicating where they were made. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, P for Philadelphia, except, sometimes, a mistake happens. That's what went down in 2002. A batch of pennies left the mint without a mark, and boom, instant collector's item. Now, before you start throwing all your pennies under a microscope, here's what else you need to check. The rarest and most valuable versions of this penny usually have a perfect strike, no signs of wear, and a beautiful, shiny copper sheen. Think of it like a celebrity. You want that coin looking like it just walked the red carpet. If you find one with scratches, dents, or signs that it's been used to scratch off lottery tickets, well, let's just say it's probably not making you a millionaire. Now, let's talk about that jaw-dropping price tag. Why is this penny worth $2.8 million? Simple: rarity, demand, and collector frenzy. The few pristine examples that exist are highly sought after by collectors willing to drop serious cash for a once-in-a-lifetime coin. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to own a penny that could buy them a mansion? All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now you know the secret behind the 2002 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Will you find one in your change jar? Maybe. But even if you don't, this just proves that hidden treasures are out there, waiting to be discovered. So, before you go spinning those pennies at the vending machine, give them a second look. You never know what you might have. And if you love learning about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories coming your way about coins worth money and how to collect them like a pro. All right, folks, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, maybe looking for some spare change for your morning coffee. You find a penny, just another old penny, right? Wrong. That little copper coin could be worth a life-changing $2.90 million. Yep, you heard me right. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2013 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. What makes this tiny, unassuming coin so valuable? How can you spot one in your own pocket change? And what should you do if you hit the jackpot? Stick with me because I'm about to break it all down in a way that's easy, fun, and might just make you check your change jar a little more closely. First things first, let's talk about what makes this penny so special. The 2013 Lincoln penny was part of the standard circulation pennies issued by the U.S. Mint, featuring good Honest Abe's profile on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse. But here's where things get interesting. This particular penny is missing a mint mark. Now, you might be thinking, big deal. Who cares about a tiny little letter? Well, in the coin world, that tiny missing letter is a huge deal. Most pennies from 2013 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and they all had a P, D, or S to prove it. But this one? No mint mark. That's like finding a baseball card with a printing error. Collectors go absolutely bananas for stuff like this. Let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years back, I was at a flea market, chatting with an old coin dealer who looked like he had seen more pennies than the U.S. Treasury. I casually mentioned error coins, and his eyes lit up. He pulled out a beat-up old penny from his pocket and said, "See this? No mint mark. It's a unicorn." I laughed it off, but turns out he wasn't kidding. That penny ended up selling at auction for 6 figures. Ever since then, I've checked every single penny I come across, just in case. Now, let's talk numbers. Why is this little copper beauty worth $2.9 million? Well, its rarity plays a massive role. When a minting error happens and very few of those coins make it into circulation, collectors start foaming at the mouth. Add in high demand, a good auction, and some wealthy collectors willing to drop serious cash, and boom. You've got a multi-million-dollar penny on your hands. So how do you know if you have one? Simple. Grab a magnifying glass, hold your 2013 penny up to the light, and look for that missing mint mark. If it's gone, you might want to cancel your weekend plans because you just found gold in the form of copper. But wait. Before you start spending your fortune, you'll need to verify it. Get that penny checked out by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These folks will authenticate your coin and slap it with a grade, which can make all the difference when selling it. After all, a verified rare coin is worth way more than a mystery coin. Now, let's say you've got the real deal. What's next? You have a few options. You can list it on an auction site, sell it privately to a serious collector, or take it to a top-tier auction house. Either way, you're looking at a serious payday. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, let's recap. That humble little penny in your pocket might not be so humble after all. If you've got a 2013 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, you could be sitting on a multi-million-dollar jackpot. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your pennies, tell your friends, and if you find one, let me know. I'd love to hear your story. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and coin collecting strategies coming your way. Who knows? The next coin we talk about might just be hiding in your change jar. All right, folks, gather around because today we're talking about a penny that could turn you into a millionaire. Yeah, you heard that right. A single, lonely little 1979 D. Lincoln penny is worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. That's right. A penny that probably slipped through your fingers years ago could be someone's ticket to an early retirement. And if you're thinking, oh man, I probably spent it on a vending machine snack, don't worry, you're not alone. We've all got those what-if stories. Like the time I found a 1909 SVB penny in my grandpa's old coffee can and thought, cool, a lucky penny, before tossing it back. Fast forward a decade, I could have bought a car with that bad boy. Ouch. But today, we're making sure you don't let another fortune slip through your hands. So stick around, because I'm breaking down what makes this coin worth over $1 million, how to spot one, and what to do if you find one. First things first, let's talk about what makes this 1979 D. Lincoln penny so special. I mean, there are millions, literally millions, of these pennies out there, right? So why is this one worth a king's ransom? Well, it's all about errors, folks. This particular penny is not your run-of-the-mill change, it's a rare mint error. The most valuable one known has a dramatic double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face and inscriptions have a doubled effect. It's like Honest Abe had a little too much coffee that day and started seeing double. But wait, there's more. This penny also has a bold, misaligned D mint mark, making it even more unique. It's like the Denver Mint was in a hurry and said, close enough. Little did they know, they were creating $1 million mistake. Now, let's talk about value. The record-breaking sale of this 1979 D penny hit $1.1 million thanks to its pristine condition and rarity. But before you start flipping over every penny in your couch cushions, keep in mind that condition is everything. The most valuable coins are usually in top-notch shape, no scratches, no corrosion, and no evidence of that time you used a penny to tighten a loose screw. So, how do you find one? Well, it's time to check those old piggy banks, jars of forgotten change, and maybe even raid your grandma's coin stash, politely, of course. And if you do find a 1979 D penny that looks a little off, don't just take it to the corner store and trade it for gum. Get it authenticated by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These folks will tell you exactly what you have and whether you should start picking out a new house in the Bahamas. Now, let's say you don't have one, but you still want to get into the world of valuable coin hunting. Well, here's a little strategy for you. Start checking your everyday change, hit up flea markets, estate sales, and even roll hunt through bank-wrapped pennies. Sometimes the real treasures are hiding in plain sight. I once picked up a penny for a nickel because, inflation, and it turned out to be a rare 1943 steel cent worth way more than 5 cents. Talk about an upgrade. So, my fellow treasure hunters, the next time you get a 1979 D penny in your change, don't just toss it in the tip jar. Take a closer look. You never know, you might just be holding on to $1 million payday. And if you don't have one yet, keep hunting. Valuable coins are out there, and it's only a matter of time before you strike gold or copper. In this case, if you enjoyed this and want more tips on coins worth money, hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you don't miss out on the next big find. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who says, I could have had $1 million penny, but I wasn't paying attention. Imagine finding a penny, just 1 cent, and realizing it's worth a life-changing $1.2 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, wake up, because this is real. Today, we're talking about the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that's turning heads in the coin-collecting world. If you've got one of these lying around in an old piggy bank or tucked away in your junk drawer, you might be holding a fortune. So, stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to cash in on this tiny but mighty coin. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your house, let's break down what makes this coin so special. First, let's talk about the no-mint mark part. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia didn't have a mint mark. So what's the big deal? Well, the rarity comes from a specific error in the minting process that year, making this particular penny an absolute goldmine. It's 1978. Bell-bottoms are still in style, disco is on every radio, and somewhere in the Philadelphia Mint, a mistake happens. A tiny batch of pennies gets struck with an ultra-rare die variation, and nobody notices. Fast forward to today, and collectors are losing their minds over this mistake. I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I've got one? First, grab a magnifying glass. If you don't have one, borrow your grandma's reading glasses. Trust me, she'll appreciate you using them for something other than looking at memes. Now, look beneath the date. If there's no mint mark and the coin has a deep, clear strike with sharp details, you might have a winner. Another telltale sign? Some of these rare 1978 pennies have what's called a double die obverse, meaning slight doubling on Lincoln's face or the lettering. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable penny. I was at a gas station, digging through my car's cup holder for change, that bottomless pit of gum wrappers, old receipts, and that one mystery bowl you have no idea where it came from. I grabbed a handful of coins, paid for my coffee, and walked out. Later that night, I was watching an auction online and saw a penny that looked oddly familiar. Turns out, I had a rare penny all along. I rushed back to that gas station, hoping to dig through the register, but guess what? Too late. That baby was gone, probably living its best life in someone else's collection now. Lesson learned, always check your change. Now, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare pennies, what should you do? First, don't go spending it in a vending machine. Get it authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once it's verified, you can either hold onto it as an investment or auction it off. Recently, one of these beauties sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Can you imagine selling a penny for that much? That's like turning pocket lint into a Ferrari. All right, my fellow coin hunters, now you know the secret behind the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Who knew a simple copper coin could be worth more than a house? So, here's your homework. Go through your jars, your pockets, your couch cushions, and check those pennies. You might just hit the jackpot. And if you love learning about hidden treasures in your spare change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more mind-blowing coin discoveries, collecting tips, and strategies coming your way. Don't miss out. You never know when the next $1 million coin might be in your pocket. All right, coin lovers, buckle up because today we're talking about a little copper coin that could change your life. Imagine finding a penny, yes, a regular old Lincoln penny, only to discover it's worth a staggering $1.3 million. That's not a typo. That's a million with an M. And no, I haven't lost my mind. Yet. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Where did it come from? Why is it so rare? And most importantly, do you have one sitting in your couch cushions right now? Let's find out. Now, before we get into the juicy details, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was digging through some old change, probably looking for vending machine money, if I'm being honest, when I stumbled upon a weird-looking penny. It was old, it was worn, and it had this certain "Je sais quoi." Turns out, it wasn't anything special, but that moment made me realize just how many hidden treasures are floating around in our everyday pocket change. And let me tell you, the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the biggest hidden gems of them all. First, let's break this down. In 1967, the U.S. Mint didn't use mint marks at all. That means whether a penny was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, there was no little letter to tell you where it came from. But here's where it gets crazy. Most 1967 pennies are worth, well, a penny. But a few rare ones have an unusual composition, possibly an error in the minting process. These are the ones collectors go nuts for. And one of these bad boys recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.30 million. Now, what makes a 1967 penny worth more than just a cent? Some 1967 pennies were struck on the wrong planchet. That's a fancy way of saying the metal blank wasn't supposed to be used for pennies. These mistakes can make a penny insanely valuable. If you look closely and see a doubling effect on Lincoln's face or the date, congratulations. You might have something special. The shinier and better preserved the coin, the more it's worth. A perfect uncirculated coin is like finding a unicorn. Except this unicorn pays your mortgage. So, where do you even start looking for this gold mine in disguise? Well, check your old piggy banks, those dusty jars of coins in your grandparents' house, and, of course, your pockets. You never know when you might strike it rich. And if you do find something suspicious, take it to a coin dealer for an expert opinion. Just don't go spending it on a candy bar before you check. So, now that you know the truth about the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny, what are you waiting for? Go check your change. And hey, if you do find one, remember who gave you the tip. Maybe send me a thank you card, or at least a picture so I can live vicariously through your newfound fortune. If you love learning about valuable coins and hidden treasures, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I post new videos all the time, helping you turn pocket change into serious cash. Don't miss out. Like this video, leave a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and I'll see you next time. You're digging through your pocket change, probably looking for a quarter for the vending machine, when you spot a 2014 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Wrong. Because what if I told you that one of these little copper-coated beauties is worth a staggering $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard me right. $1.4 million. For a penny. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house like a detective at a crime scene, stick with me. Today, we're diving deep into the 2014 Lincoln penny, what makes it so valuable, how to spot one, and why someone out there is willing to drop a small fortune on it. And trust me, you're going to want to hear this, because you just might have a life-changing coin sitting in your couch cushions. First, let's get the basics down. The 2014 penny is part of the standard Lincoln Shield cent series, minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark under the date. But here's where things get interesting. A rare error or unique variation in some of these pennies has made them astronomically valuable. Now, what kind of error are we talking about? Well, in this case, it's a double die obverse, DDO, with an extreme doubling on Lincoln's profile. That means Honest Abe's face looks like he had a little too much coffee and decided to duplicate himself right on the coin. You'll also notice some extra thickness in the lettering, especially around "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." But wait, it gets even better. Some of these rare 2014 pennies were struck on leftover planchets from older coinage, creating a wild mix of metals that makes them even more desirable. So if you've ever wondered why some pennies have a different sheen or feel heavier, well, now you know. Now, let me tell you about the time I nearly had a heart attack over a penny. A few months ago, I was sorting through some change, just your average Friday night for a coin nerd, and I spotted a 2014 penny that looked off. The color was weird, the strike was slightly doubled, and for a solid 10 minutes, I thought I hit the jackpot. I'm talking full-on dreaming of mansions, luxury cars, and quitting my day job levels of excitement. I even ran to grab my magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes on a mission. But as I examined it, my hopes came crashing down faster than a vending machine rejecting a wrinkled dollar bill. Turns out, it was just a well-worn coin that had seen too many hands. Moral of the story? Always double-check, but don't get too excited until you're certain. Because while rare coins are out there, they're not all rare. How to tell if you have the $1.4 million penny all right? Back to business. How can you tell if you're holding on to the golden, or rather, copper, ticket? Look for the 2014 date with a D mint mark. If you don't see a D, sorry, but you're out of the running. Check for a double die. The easiest way? Examine Lincoln's profile and the lettering under a magnifying glass. If you see clear doubling, you might be onto something huge. Test the weight. The standard 2014 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier or made of a different metal, that's a big clue. Compare it to known errors. Look up images of verified rare 2014 D pennies and see how yours stacks up. If it matches, call a professional grader ASAP. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay $1.4 million for a penny? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. Coin collectors love unique errors, and the fewer there are, the higher the price skyrockets. Some of these high-value pennies have sold at major auctions where rich collectors basically throw money at history. The last confirmed sale of a 2014 D error penny with extreme doubling and a rare planchet hit that insane $1.4 million mark. And if another one turns up, who knows? It could go for even more. So what have we learned today? First, always check your pennies, because one of them could be your ticket to an early retirement. Second, rare coins don't just come from ancient history, they're still being discovered today. And finally, if you're serious about making money with coins, education is key. Now, here's where you come in. If you want to stay up to date on valuable coins, rare finds, and coin collecting strategies that could make you money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss my next video, where I'll be revealing even more hidden treasures in your pocket change. And hey, before you go, check your couch cushions. Your future million-dollar penny might be closer than you think. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and realizing it's worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your entire retirement plan. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for one lucky coin collector, that dream turned into reality with a 2006 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that recently sold for an eye-popping $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. A tiny, copper-colored coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. But what makes this particular penny so special? Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the mystery, the value, and the incredible story behind this million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. Now, before you start frantically dumping out every jar of spare change in your house, let's talk about what makes this penny so valuable. First off, you might be wondering what no mint mark means. Well, most pennies have a tiny letter under the date, either a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no letter at all, meaning it was made in Philadelphia. The key here is that the 2006 no mint mark penny should be common, right? Wrong. This particular 2006 Lincoln penny was struck in error. No one knows exactly how it happened, but experts believe it was a one-of-a-kind mistake. It has a completely unique set of characteristics, including an off-metal strike, a bold doubling effect on Lincoln's face, and an unusually high relief that makes it stand out from other 2006 pennies. In short, it's a freak of numismatic nature, and let's talk about how rare this is. This isn't just a hard-to-find coin. This is a one-in-a-billion kind of situation. You have better odds of getting struck by lightning while holding a four-leaf clover and singing the national anthem backward. So how did this coin get discovered? Well, let me tell you a quick personal story. Years ago, I was at a flea market, digging through a bin of old coins. A guy next to me was doing the same, and he suddenly gasped so loudly that everyone within a 10-foot radius stopped what they were doing. He ran up to the vendor and said, "I think I found something big." The vendor, probably thinking he was about to make a few bucks, shrugged and said, "All right, $5. The guy bought it, took it to a professional grader, and boom, turns out he was holding a coin worth nearly $500,000 at the time. Imagine that. And that's why it pays, literally, to check your pocket change. Because you never know when you're holding on to a fortune. Now, back to our million-dollar penny. This rare 2006 Lincoln penny was recently auctioned off for $1.5 million, setting a new record for modern pennies. Who bought it? A private collector with deep pockets and a love for rare finds. It just goes to show that serious coin collectors are willing to shell out serious cash for the rarest of the rare. So how can you tell if you have one? Grab a magnifying glass and look for these key markers. No mint mark, unusual thickness, a bold doubling effect, and an off-metal color. If you think you have one, don't go spending it on a vending machine snack. Get it authenticated immediately. It could change your life. All right, folks, we've covered a lot today. We've talked about the wild world of rare coins, the unbelievable story behind the 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why you should never overlook the change in your pocket. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go grab your coin jar, your wallet, your couch cushions, anywhere you've got loose change, and start searching. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. And if you love finding out about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I post regular videos about coins worth money, how to find them, and strategies to turn pocket change into real cash. Don't forget to like and share this video with your fellow treasure hunters. All right, folks, gather around because today we're talking about a penny that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and still leave you with enough for a steak dinner. That's right, the 1991 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a humble little 1-cent piece, has been making waves in the coin-collecting world with a jaw-dropping market value of $1.60 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. How in the world can a penny be worth that much? Well, buckle up because I'm about to take you on a wild ride through the world of numismatics, share a personal story about a close call I had with a rare coin, and most importantly, show you how to check your change for hidden treasure. So, stick around because this could be the most valuable 60 minutes of your life. Let's start with the basics. What exactly makes this 1991 no-mint mark penny so valuable? First, the absence of a mint mark means it wasn't produced at any standard U.S. mint facility like Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This kind of error is incredibly rare, and when something is rare in the coin-collecting world, collectors start throwing money at it like it's the last donut at a breakfast meeting. To understand the magnitude of this error, let's take a quick trip back to 1991. The U.S. Mint was mass-producing billions of pennies, but somewhere along the line, a tiny fraction of them were struck without a mint mark. These escaped quality control, ended up in circulation, and now, decades later, are being discovered by sharp-eyed collectors like you and me. Now, let me tell you about a time I almost let a valuable coin slip through my fingers. A few years back, I was going through a jar of pennies, looking for wheat cents, when I saw an odd-looking penny from the 90s. It looked just a bit different, shinier, almost like it had never been touched. But in my haste, I tossed it back into the jar, thinking, nah, it's just another modern penny. Fast forward a week later, I was scrolling through an online auction and saw that the very same type of penny had sold for thousands of dollars. I nearly fainted. You better believe I went digging through that jar again, but that coin was gone. Probably spent it on a vending machine snack. That's the moment I learned, always double-check your change. Now, let's talk about how to find one of these bad boys. If you have a 1991 penny, the first thing you want to do is grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's camera to zoom in on the area just below the date. If there's no mint mark, congratulations. You just might have a winner. But hold on, we're not cashing out just yet. Condition matters. If your penny is scratched up, discolored, or looks like it went through the garbage disposal, it might not fetch top dollar. But if it's in pristine condition, with full luster and minimal wear, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The best route is to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. This adds credibility to your find and helps you get the best price. Auctions, especially online platforms like Heritage Auctions or eBay, if you know what you're doing, can attract the right buyers. But beware of scammers. If someone offers you $50 for it, they're either clueless or trying to rip you off. Either way, run. That penny in your pocket could be the key to financial freedom, or at the very least, a really nice vacation. Don't take your spare change for granted. Check every penny carefully because you never know what treasure is hiding in plain sight. Now, if you love learning about hidden gems in the coin world, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chance to find the next big money coin. And hey, if you've ever found a valuable coin in your change, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories.